Hi guys, this is Laurie from Stamping in Deerland. I'd like to stamp a card with you today and show you just how easy it is to make a 20-pound card. Here's the card that we're going to stamp. We're going to use 4 layers of cardstock and some extra things for texture. We're going to use some sequins. So I always like to decorate my envelopes as well, even if it's just a stamped image on the front. I think people love to get stuff in the mail, so it's always fun when it's really pretty. So let's get started. I have some cardstock here. My first layer is a layer of vanilla, and this vanilla is 8.5 by 5.5, and then of course it's scored at the 4 1/4 and folded. I have some mossy meadow, and that's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I love little skinny layers. And then I have more vanilla, and that would be 5 1/4 by 4. And then this is a layer of the flashback DSP and another little layer of the mossy meadow. And this is, I think it's 2 by 4. And I ran this through the Big Shot with my honeycomb embossing folder. I just wanted a little bit of texture. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer this up. Pretty sassy. I love doing cards that have 5, 6 layers. My customers love to get them. They love to make them. And I have built a class around 20-pound card class. It's just something that I love to do. I love fussy little cards. I like to fussy cut. I like to fussy stamp. So we're just going to layer these. Now, I do have dimensionals on the back of my mossy meadow cardstock to put onto my card, but I'm not going to do that yet because I have some other elements I want to put on my card first, and some other elements that I actually want to make first. I do have some curry baker's twine. This is new in our catalog this year. What I'm going to do, this is the easiest way for me to attach it. I'm going to put some snail at both ends of the card, and then all I do is I just take and I kind of squish my twine in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap my twine around my card, and then I'm going to squish it again back into my snail. Trim it off. And now I have that twine in there. Love, 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 love. So I'm going to do my card like this, and my twine's on the opposite side as my card, but sometimes I like to make them a little bit different. So if I send people cards, they don't always get the same card as their friend got. So we've got that element done. Now, the next thing I did is I stamped Hello There, and this is from the Hello There stamp set. It's a hostess set this year. And then I punched it out with a 2.5-inch circle punch. I barely didn't get these little twirly things over here on the edge. There was a little bit of ink on my vanilla cardstock. Anyway, punch it out, and then I took my Essentials paper piercing template, and I paper pierced all the way around. It would have been on the 3rd row in with that paper piercing punch. When you center it, if you center your circle on the 2nd row and then punch on the 3rd row in, you will get that done in just a jiff. I used my paper piercing mat and my paper piercer from Stampin' Up!, which I love this new one. It is really nice in your hand. And so I just added an extra little touch with that. Now, the next thing, and I also added dimensionals, so I am all set to put that on my card when we're ready to go. I like to get everything made and then put my card together. So that's what we're going to do. The next thing we're going to make is I started working on my flower element. I have used the Beautiful Bunch stamp set, and I stamped in Hello Honey on saffron cardstock. And then I used the Fun Flower Punch. This is a new punch this year, and I use that to punch out my flowers. Just so you know, there's one little leaf that looks like a mitten, so that's how I always try to line that up on my punch. It's easy for me to remember with Michigan because we're a mitten. Our state looks like a mitten. So what I'm going to do is this is the flat one, and this is the one that I added some texture to. I'm going to show you how I got that texture. So this one's ready to go and get layered on our card. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I added that texture. I've turned this over and I grabbed our Stylus. You can purchase these separately, or it comes with the scoring board. I have a bunch of them because I love to use these. So what I do is I just kind of come from the back and I just score all over, and it doesn't really look very pretty from the back, but from the front you're going to see that it looks really beautiful, and it gives the flower a lot of texture, and it looks more like a real flower that way. I do this with tons of my flowers, and it makes them curl up a little bit, makes them look a little more realistic. I actually learned this from a guy that had a booth at a vendor show. And then on this side, I just kind of go around the circle where the leaves start, and it kind of pulls them right up. Anyway, super easy. It just gives it some texture, makes it look a lot more real. So what I'm going to do is I like to use the Tombow liquid glue. I'm just going to put a little dot right in the middle, and I'm going to off-center my flowers so that I've got lots of petals. That Tombow glue works super for putting flowers together. Now, in that same set of Beautiful Bunch, it has a little bitty dotted stamp. Here it is. And I have actually stamped that in espresso on espresso. And then I used my 7/8 inch scallop circle punch and punched that out. And then I'm going to add that to the middle because I like those dots better than I like the sunflower look. Now, to make my leaves for this flower, I took the Bloom for You stamp. It's a single stamp, and it also uses the Fun Flower to punch out. So what I'm going to do is I just used a little bit of snail on all these flowers. Hook these together. I cut the middle out of it, just so you know, because I don't need the middle. I just wanted the leaves. And then every couple of flowers, I added some leaves, the petals on the flowers. And I just kind of hooked them together with some snail. So it's not very pretty right here, but it looks beautiful on the after the petals get on there like this. And this is a great flower because it's 6 petals. And so then I hook these together so I have 3 sets. And then I just do it every other, and it looks beautiful. So here's this finished. There's my flower I'm going to add. All right. So we have that element. Now, what I was waiting for on this, I was actually waiting to get my twine on there. So I have my twine on there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my hello there greeting. Get my little dimensionals. You know, I find those all over my house. It's crazy. You clean and clean and clean, and you find dimensional papers everywhere. So I'm just going to add that to my card right there. And no rhyme or reason. You just have to make sure that it doesn't go over the edge of your card, because you need to make sure it stays in the confines of your card so it'll fit in the envelope. And then I'm going to pull little papers off the dimensionals here. And then I'll just go ahead and put this over all my twine. Okay, so there's that. Now, what I'm going to do is I actually made a little tool. I love our Tombow liquid glue. What I do is I took a toothpick. This is just a normal plain Jane toothpick, and I put a little bit of the Tombow liquid glue on the end. And now this is my little picker upper. So I'm just going to put some little half drops of Tombow liquid glue on my project. This is where my little gold sequins are going to go. I love these gold sequins. I'm going to use 7, maybe 8 or 9, but probably 7. So what I do is I just pick it up with my little toothpick, and then I use it as a tool, and I can just set my sequins right down on my little puddles of glue. Works great. And I don't have to fight the sequins to get them on my card, which is really awesome. Sometimes I don't always have the dexterity to do that, so this makes it super easy. So there is my little sequins all over my card. Actually, I think I'm going to add one right down here. And I don't like to have odd numbers on my card, so I'll probably add one right up in here too. So that gives me 9. I don't know, it's something about decorating, you know. Anyway, so there's my little sequins. And again, my little tool, it's pretty cheap, just a little drop of Tombow on the end, and then you can reuse it because it stays sticky for quite a while. Now, my card is pretty much finished except for a little decorating. I'm going to use some Gold Glitz Dazzling Details. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of Dazzling Details in the middle of each one of my sequins. Why? Well, then it looks like a little bead. It just one extra step. And it looks super cute, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to do that. So 2 things. And then I'm going to cover up all my little brown dots with some glitzy glitter glue. So love this stuff. And it's a lot messier, less messy than glitter. I have some hostesses that won't ever let me bring glitter to their house, but they'll let me bring Dazzling Details, which is awesome because I love the glitzy sparkly stuff, and I have several of them that do too. They just don't like the mess of glitter, because as soon as you open that jar, poof, it's everywhere. It's embedded in the carpet in my house. So here's my card, all finished, really glitzy. I've got one little trick to show you about my envelope. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? This needs to be mounted on this piece of paper, so it's one more layer. Looks really pretty. There's my card. I wanted to show you the envelope. Here's the envelope I just stamped in saffron. Actually, I'm sorry, I stamped in Hello Honey and then added the dots. Now, something else I did earlier, because this punch is perfect for this stamp set, I made a mask. And all you have to do to make a mask is just punch out a piece of white cardstock, and you can do this on a sticky note or a piece of white cardstock or just any piece of scrap. What I did, I looked for the mitten, the one that looked like the mitten, and I found that one on my card right here, lined it up, just held it down and stamped my green ones, and then I stamped my centers. But I covered this one up so it wouldn't overlap with the mossy meadow. So there's my second envelope. So I'll probably send it in this one because I just can write right here, and then I can put my label up here and I'll be good to go. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.